Welcome back to Courchevel in France. Apologies for the problems we had earlier. We've now rectified those and we can bring you clean, crisp pictures of the entire second leg as it happens here in Courchevel. This is the fourth competition of the season in ski jumping, and it will give us a very good indicator as to the form of the jumpers as they now attack the Olympic hill here in the Savoie region of France, which was of course host to the Olympic competition in February of 1992. Espen Bredesen of Norway is leading after the first leg with a jump of 123 meters. He's just ahead of Jens Weisflog, the winner of two of the competitions that have taken place so far. Weisflog in second with a jump of a meter shorter than that of Bredesen, 122 meters. In third place, last year's overall World Cup champion, the young Austrian Andreas Goldberger. He's also the Four Hills champion. He's lying in third with a jump of 120.5 meters. This is the second leg, and the first qualifier from Sweden, Johan Rasmussen, 23 years of age. He qualified in 35th place, 103.5 his opening distance. Rasmussen finished equal 12th in Palazzo earlier in the week, which was a good result for him. In fact, it was a personal best. And Swedish ski jumping could really do with a lift at the moment. Not since Jan Boklov have they had a jumper of any great standing. Rasmussen still has time on his side, age on his side, possibly to change that. Interesting battle going on at the top of the World Cup standings between Weisflog and Bredesen. And it's Weisflog and Bredesen who lead this competition, but in the other order, Bredesen ahead of Weisflog. In the standings, it's Weisflog who has just 5 points over Bredesen, with Goldberger in third. Weisflog, the Olympic champion of '84. Bredesen won the test event in Lillehammer on the Olympic hill there. And it's an interesting prospect with the Olympics looming, the battle that could unfold between these two. Bredesen, of course, the local favourite. Weisflog, vastly experienced. And another interesting point to note is that Espen Bredesen, who leads after the first round here, finished in last place at the Olympics here 2 years ago. Bredesen way down the list in both competitions. Last in the large hill competition, second last in the normal competition. And Bredesen was given the nickname of Espen the Eagle following that, for obvious reasons. Well, he's turned it around somewhat. Not only does he lead here, but he also won 3 World Cup events last season. And Bredesen is my tip for Olympic glory, and he will have the backing of thousands of fanatical Norwegian supporters. Number 45, Martin Truntz of Switzerland, 23 years of age. 6th in Falun last season, his only top 10 placing. And he goes second at the moment with a distance of 96 meters. That's well off the mark, really, for Martin Truntz. Style marks unfavourable as well. First of the Finnish qualifiers is Ari-Pekka Nikola. Gold medalist here in the team event in the Olympics. Oh, nice second round jump from Nikola. That's a bit more like it from him. First round distance of 107 meters. That looked to be well in excess of that. Now, Nikola, of course, when he won that gold medal, won it alongside Tony Nieminen in the team event. Nieminen, you may be interested in here, hasn't qualified for the first or second round proper here in Courchevel. He jumped only 83 meters. Nieminen still with an awful lot of work to do if he's to have any chance of defending his Olympic title. 109 meters, so significant improvement for Ari-Pekka Nikola. He leads for the moment for Finland. Ivan Lunardi, now 20 years of age. Ivan Lunardi, he had a good season last year. He won in Lahti in Finland. Didn't get the telemark landing there. That'll cost him points in style. Remember, the judge is looking for that telemark landing. And Ivan Lunardi didn't quite manage to put it off. He's made a shaky start to his season this year. 19th in Planica, the best he could do. And he looks like he's unlikely to improve on that this season. We'll wait for Ivan to warm up as the season goes on. Second place, 103 meters. So Lunardi doesn't improve on his first round distance. This is the first of the Germans, Gert Siegmund, former member of the East German squad. 22 years of age from Klingenthal. His first round distance of 108 meters. And again, that's an improvement from Siegmund. Now, he's made a reasonable start to the season. 6th he was in Palazzo earlier in the week. Good top 10 finish from Siegmund. Intense competition within the German squad for places in the team for the Olympic Games. And Siegmund will be looking for consistency in the early part of the World Cup campaign to be sure of a place in Lillehammer. As we wait for the results to come through, here they go. 110.5, the lead goes to Siegmund, an increase of 2 meters and very good style marks. Stefan Tellberg, 23 years of age, from Sweden, from the Bollnäs club. 10th in Palazzo earlier in the week. Tellberg didn't get as far forward in the air there as some of the other jumpers. He looked to be a little cautious in his flight. He seemed to time the takeoff quite nicely, but then stayed a little upright during flight. Nice landing from the Swede. Now, he jumped 107.5. We'll wait for the distance to come through, but it looked to me to be there or thereabouts. Well, it's shorter by 4 meters, and Tellberg goes into 3rd. The best still to come here in Olympic Courchevel. Join us again in a couple of minutes for more ski jumping. '19-year-old Sylvain Freiholz is the leading Swiss qualifier in the final round of today's World Cup event from Courchevel. 108 meters, the opening distance for Freiholz. That's a good aerial position. That's a good jump. Oh, but he's blown it on the landing. Oh, what a disappointing end to such a fine jump from Freiholz, and he knows it. Very disappointed, and well he might be, because he looked to have established a perfect flight position. He got great uplift, and that was certainly the longest jump of the second round, but he fell on landing. Now, will the judges deem that the jump was complete? I doubt it, and I think Freiholz will live to regret this moment. Seemed to get the telemark landing right, then the right ski slipped away from him. He couldn't recover. Freiholz, best result of last season was a 19th in Lillehammer at the pre-Olympic event. Let's see what the judges have decided with regards to Sylvain's performance. Well, he didn't pull off the landing. It won't be complete. So despite getting significant improvements on his distance, Freiholz will not feature in today's order of merit. despondent. Freiholz makes his way back to the changing room. 117 meters, by far the longest jump. What a shame about that landing. Meanwhile, back to the action. This is Mikael Martinson of Sweden. Unbalanced on landing for Martinson. He's an inconsistent player. Began the season last year with a 4th in Falun, and then he tailed off drastically. In the World Championships, a lot was expected of him, especially as it was being held in Sweden. He could only manage to finish in 38th position there. Martinson's consistency is really the missing link in his ski jumping, and again, 99.5 meters. He fails to improve. 107 he jumped earlier. This is Wojciech Skupien of Poland. 107 meters, equal with Martinson after the first round. Nice wide aerial stance. That's not a bad jump from the pole. Previous best for Skupien, a 20th place. So an improvement on that today will be worthwhile. 106 meters or so, his second round jump.
Il appartient à l'équipe de France. Il s'appelle Didier Mollard, 9e mécanique.
106.5, so just short of what he jumped earlier. Skupien into third.
Didier Mollard pour la France.
Now this is Didier Mollard, who finds himself in the strange position of being in 26th place after the first leg. On this, the hill he would call home. He trains here winter and summer. Mollard, 7th, his best so far. Good takeoff from Mollard. Down early. He landed that early. Now he may go into the lead, but he's unlikely to challenge for a top 15 place today, Didier Mollard. He showed so much promise last season. You may remember the antics of Didier Mollard during the 4 hills. Still, no Frenchman has ever won a World Cup. Mollard's come closest. Second in Bad Mittendorf last year. Second again right at the end of the season, amid dramatic scenes in Holmenkollen when 100,000 Norwegian supporters willed on Espen Bredesen to victory ahead of Mollard. Mollard just beaten into second. I'm sure that French victory will come. It won't be today. Mollard goes 4th. Here's a talented youngster, Roar Jokelsøy of Norway. 10th in Planica last weekend. Oh, nice second round jump from Jokelsøy. That should give him the lead. Solid stance in the air, a little bit of arm movement, but if it's not too much, then the judges will not penalise that. He opened his arms a little early on landing. That may cost him half a style mark here and there. 109, he jumped in the first round. We wait for his distance to be confirmed. He's improved by half a metre. Style marks favourable. Jokelsøy into first place. Back at the top of the in-run, this is Matthias Kladnik of Slovenia, now 18 years of age. 8th in Oberstdorf during the 4 hills last year. Showed great promise, but failed to translate it into effective results. Let's see what he can achieve. That's a good jump. Good clean landing from the Slovenian. Yes, he seems to have regained the confidence he appeared to lose halfway through last season. Solid as a rock in the air. Barely a quiver from the skis. Perfect landing. That, I'm sure, will be the new leader. Kladnik jumped 109.5 in the first round, and he looked to be closer to 113, 114 meters there. 115.5 it is for the Slovenian. He leads ahead of Jokelsoy of Norway. What a charming young chap. Øyvind Berg of Norway, carrying number 42, qualified in 23rd place. Berg with a jump of 110. Nice takeoff from Berg. Can he hold it? Oh, a little forward on landing. The weight came over the front of his skis, and he had to act to avoid that turning into a forward roll. 93.8 kilometers off the in run. That's about the average speed. Berg will wait. Again, it looked to be a very slight improvement, maybe of 2 or 3 meters, as Mollard comes through to meet his people. A lot of pressure on Didier Mollard this year. Number 71, Kristof Dorfner, goes to the start gate as Berg fails to increase his first round jump. He goes 5th, a missed opportunity. Kristof Dorfner, now 23, his birthday yesterday. Nice takeoff from Dorfner. He won't challenge for the lead today, though. Landed early, didn't hold the aerial position. And Dorfner, again, one who suffers from a lack of consistency. 7th in Falun at the beginning of last season. Then he won in Oberstdorf in Germany. Again, amid dramatic scenes during the 4 hills. This season, 10th in Planica last weekend, the best Dorfner could muster. And he takes an awful lot of stick from his coaches. Just a psychological thing. So much talent, 104.5 meters. Dorfner way down the list. Consistent style marks, but the all-important distance not equal to Dorfner's normal standard. This is the world champion on the normal hill, the likeable Masahiko Harada. He jumped 109.5, and he's capable of going much, much further than that. Look at that style, courageous, gutsy performer. What a jump from Masahiko Harada. That's the longest jump of the second round, I'm sure of that. And the 23-year-old world champion is this year facing intense pressure for places in the Japanese squad with the Olympics looming. But look at the body position he achieves. Parallel with his skis, and he landed right on the K point there. 4th in Palazzo on the normal hill. Harada showing that he's also a capable jumper on the larger of the 2 hills. I shall never forget the delight on that man's face when he picked up the World Championship gold in Fulham last season. It was a sight to behold as he danced his way through the spectators. And look at that, over the K point, in fact, 120.5. He's annihilated the jumpers that followed him, and that smiles back. Good to see from Masahiko. He goes into the lead. Stefan Horngacher of Austria, qualified in 20th place, 110.5 meters. Horngacher's got a good flight as well. He's short of the K point. That was around 118, possibly 119 meters. That should give him second. possibly, if the judges are favourable with Horngacher's style marks, he may take the lead away from Harada. 14th in Prerazzo, Stefan Horngacher. $116.5 meters for Horngacher. Third place. Roberto Ceccon, the second of the Italians in the top 35. 11th in Prerazzo, on home snow. Short of the required distance there from Roberto. He too inconsistent in his form. Began the season positively when he finished 8th in the opening jump of last season in Falun, and then tailed off and was nearly always out of the top 15. Well, second place for the moment for Ceccon. Style marks pushing him ahead of Horngacher. But it's Masahiko Harada who leads for Japan. The best still to come. The 1, 2, 3, I'll remind you, after the first leg was Bredesen, Weissflog, Goldberger. At the moment, it's Harada, Ceccon, Kladnik of Slovenia in third. Horngacher's now down in fourth. Harada is unlikely to hang on to that lead, but it will do his confidence the power of good. And the unfortunate Martin Truntz is propping up the pile. This is Bjorn Meerbekken. A member of the World Championship gold medal winning Norwegian team from the Nordic World Championships last year. Meerbekken's improving fast. That's a nice jump. Now his first round distance was only 110.5, but that was a significant advancement. Familiar style of Meerbekken. Wide open skis. $112.5. So Meerbekken into fourth. Improved on his opening distance, but not by enough. Memories of the fabulous ski jumping competitions that took place here during the Olympics. As the crowd greet the athletes after each jump. Werner Schuster for Austria. Poor second round jump. Schuster got that all wrong. He's only 24 years of age, Werner Schuster, but he's been on the Austrian team since way back in 1987. And it was the year following that, 88, that he had his best result, which was a second place in Japan. Well, those figures speak for themselves. Now Heinz Kutin, and take a close look at his speed off the in-run. Invariably, Kutin is the fastest man through the speed gun at the bottom of the in-run. And we'll see it hopefully in the replay. Good jump from Kutin. 111.5 he jumped earlier. Former world champion on the normal hill. 94.2 kilometers per hour. Again, Kutin is quickest, as expected. Heinz Kutin has the fastest takeoff. Now let's see if he's translated it into effective distance. Looks fairly happy with it. It was fairly close to the K point. I wonder if it'll challenge the lead of Masahiko Harada of Japan. 119.5 meters. The combination of both rounds enough to give Kutin the lead. Harada now down into second. Kutin's invaluable speed on takeoff, once again standing him in good stead. Heinz Kutin of Austria leads. Masahiko Harada of Japan is now second. This is Rudy Jardine of France, an unknown quantity. 24th in the Europa Cup last year. Trains here in Courchevel, knows the hill well. Pressure there for Jardine. 111 meters he jumped earlier. From the moment he took off this time, you could see that it was going to go wrong for him. Unbalanced in the air, the arms came out to try and straighten himself up. He was lucky to get away with that, really. Put down a telemark landing, but the distance had suffered. And Jardine will learn a lesson from that. 99.5, well short of the required distance. Jardine despondently wanders back to headquarters, and he'll be lying in 15th position. Jani Soininen of Finland. Oh, nice position from Soininen. Lovely jump from the Finn. Oh, well, the jump was complete. The judges shouldn't dock him any points for that wobble at the end of his landing. And he got an explosive takeoff. He wasn't as quick as Kutin through the speed gun, but he got a very effective flight and landed right on the K point again. Critical point of the hill at 120 meters. That's where Jani Soininen landed. And let's see what the distance and style marks give him. 112.5 he jumped earlier. 119. Style marks have proved his problem. 111.7 points, and only enough for third for Soininen. 17.5 to 18 poor style marks. Lasse Ottesen of Norway. Now 19 years of age. Talented, brave. Good distance from Ottesen, short of the K point. He was 5th in Palazzo earlier this week, and that was his best result for almost a year. Slow off the in-run, and the skis showing quite a lot of movement in flight. So Kutin will hold on to the lead ahead of Harara. Soininen now third for Finland. Chekon gradually gets pushed down the list. Tommy Ingebrigtsen of Norway. Oh, what a jump. What a jump from Ingebrigtsen. 112.5 he jumped earlier. He was way over the K point on that jump. 122, possibly 123 meters. We'll wait and see. But surely that's the new leader, young Tommy Ingebrigtsen, who's only come into the Norwegian squad this year following a positive training session in the summer. What a jump. So a new name emerging. Norway have so many talented ski jumpers. What competition there'll be in February for places to jump on the Olympic hill in Lillehammer. Somebody's going to be very disappointed. Several will be very disappointed. But remember this name, Tommy Ingebrigtsen, 127 meters. Style marks not great, but that distance was marvelous. And Ingebrigtsen takes the lead for Norway. Kutin now second, and the world champion Harada is in third place.
Prochain concurrent au départ de 164, il représente la Finlande, Janne Vaatainen.
Voilà, maintenant on a affaire aux 10 meilleurs mondiaux pour l'instant, donc là il va y avoir vraiment du spectacle.
Janne Vaatainen of Finland. He's in with a very good chance of registering a personal best, Vaatanen. 15th in the Olympic test event last year. So far, to date, his PB. 112 meters he jumped earlier. Beautiful style from the Finn. That's a nice jump. It won't challenge the lead, I don't think, but a good confidence booster for Vaatanen, who's been a little bit out of sorts the last couple of seasons. As yet, as Sakala takes the lead with 121 meters. So basically, we're starting all over again. Well, the Courchevel organisers will be kicking themselves about this. Never a popular decision, but it was one that was taken in the interest of safety. You saw the crash that Akabi had as Goldberger again lands right on the K point. Let's hope they don't have to lower that start point again, because we could be here all night. 93.2 kilometers an hour isn't the quickest for Goldberger, but he had less of a run. Goldberger, the winner of the World Cup last year. He goes into the lead ahead of Sakala. And he gets a 20 from the French judge for style. Weissflog and Bredesen to go. Weissflog wearing the coveted yellow bib of the World Cup leader. Former Olympic champion, Sarajevo in 84, and wouldn't that be something if Weissflog could do it again 10 years on in Lillehammer? His distance wasn't as impressive then as that of Goldberger. And let's see how the judges mark his style. That was a subject of some controversy last weekend in Planica. Third place only for Jens. And he's obviously disappointed with the way things have worked out here. This has been an anticlimax because that's the last we'll see of Jens Weissflog. He won't be jumping again, nor will Goldberger, nor Sakala, nor this man Bredesen, but the other 31 will. Bredesen's final jump, not as far as any of the other three. He will go into fourth place. But the interesting thing now is that the likes of Nicolas Desum, the local boy from Courchevel, the likes of Tommy Ingebrigtsen, the Norwegian, will now know what they have to beat, because the leading four jumpers in the world, Bredesen, Weissflog, Goldberger and Sakala, have completed their jump, and they will now all have another opportunity to challenge the world's best. Well, if you've just tuned in, I'll remind you of what's happened. 31 jumpers went out of the 35 who had qualified for the final leg here in Courchevel. After 31 had gone, the organisers decided that the jumps were getting excessive, the hill was getting dangerous, an injury could occur, and the remaining four, Sakala, Goldberger, Weissflog and Bredesen, jumped from a new start point. So 31 have to do it all over again. We'll bring you those 31 jumps in just a couple of minutes live. Fourth there last season, personal best for him. Martinson jumped 107 metres in the first round.
La longueur de 40, 108 mètres. For number 40, 108 metres, 108 metres.
And if that leaderboard is confusing you, it's because Bredesen, Weissflog, Sakala and Goldberger have already jumped their second leg, and the other 31 are doing so at the moment. It was following a problem with the position of the start gate on the in run, which had to be lowered following a jump of 130 metres, 10 metres past the K point from the Japanese jumper Takanobu Okabe. He crashed on landing, the judges deciding that everybody had to go up and do it all over again, apart from the four jumpers that remained. Wojciech Skupien of Poland. 20th last year, his best. Nice jump, nice style.
$114.
So that's the longest jump of the 31 who re-jumped.
9e après Nika, 18e après Dazzo, et nous vient des contamines.
Skupien into 5th, so that's the best of the 31. Goldberger is unlikely to be challenged until we move into the final 5 or 6 jumpers, if at all. Didier Mollard would normally be in a position to be challenging him, but a disappointing first round performance has kept him way down the list in 26th position after the first leg. That's a bit more like it from Didier, a little bit more aggressive this time around. And the 23-year-old from Douane, who finished 7th in the World Cup standings last season, is possibly France's best hope at the Olympics in February. Although, judging by the performance from Nicolas Desum, the 16-year-old from Courchevel. Mollard may be facing a new challenge within the French camp. Mollard 10th. He will be unlikely to finish in the top 15. Roar Jokelsøy of Norway. He held the lead for a time during his earlier second round jump. 109 meters, his official first round distance. Jokelsøy's got good flight, that's a nice jump. And again, Jokelsøy, who before this season had a personal best of 34, is looking impressive. 17th in Planica on the normal hill, 10th the following day on the large hill, and then again another top 20 finish in Praz.
Nous en profitons pour saluer les personnalités, la personne de Monsieur Métiaz, qui représente le ministre de la Jeunesse et des Sports,
Happy with that, 116 and a half.
Que Monsieur Bernard Chevalier, qui est président de la
and the K point is once again approaching. Let's hope the judges have got it right this time and we don't have to have another delay and another restart. Kladnik of Slovenia, 18 years of age, student. 8th in Oberstdorf last year. Oh, lovely jump from Kladnik. Early season form was terrific last season. Then he tailed off. But that was impressive distance from the Slovenian. And he's the first man to break the 120-meter mark. Worrying signs for the judges. Kladnik goes 4th. So he pushes Bredesen down into 5th. That's a fine result for the Slovenians, 125 meters. And remember that the competition was stopped after Takanobu Okabe jumped 130 meters, so this will cause the judges a few worrying, stirring moments. Oyvind Berg would have just witnessed that, and we'll now see that the competition is wide open and there are top 5 places up for grabs. Berg attacking well. It's another good jump. It's not as long as Kladnik's, but again it was close to the K point, around 119 meters. Remember, Goldberger leads 114 and a half for Berg. Gold medalist from the World Championships last year in the team event.
Kristof Dorfner, Allemagne.
Premier au Oberstdorf, troisième en vol à
Berg
ski,
goes 7th.
troisième à Planica et une belle performance aussi, 11e aux Jeux Olympiques d'Albertville.
Tu manges avec toi après?
Hein?
Mange là?
Non, mais après je...
Kristof Dorfner has another crack at the Courchevel large hill. Disappointing form from him. 109, his first round jump. That looks like a more attacking style from Dorfner, but he's down short of where he needed to be. And Dorfner will not feature in the points this week. 104 meters for Dorfner. Dorfner into 15th.
Quatrième sur le K120, quatrième par équipe, quatrième Oberstdorf, troisième à Garmisch et bien sûr champion du monde sur le K90 à Falun.
Just jumped 125 at the new start point. Harada could go even further than that. It's a lovely jump, beautiful style from Harada. Don't think it was as far as Kladnik, but he was really giving the Japanese coaches and selectors something to think about. They will have a real tough decision come the end of January when they select their squad for the Olympics. Harada again, picture perfect style. He goes 6th. 118 meters. Stefan Horngacher. Fourteenth in Praz, his best so far this season. Hasn't won a World Cup since 1991. That was a flying hill event in Bad Mittendorf. He likes the bigger hills, Horngacher. Unfortunately for him, they don't come around all that often, the flying hills. Only 2 events scheduled for this season. Horngacher way down the list in 13th, and 110.5 meters is not a pleasing distance for Stefan. Check on. Of Italy. He too has had the taste of victory, but not for 3 or 4 seasons. Took a little bit of time to adapt to the challenges of the new technique when it was introduced in the latter part of the 80s. The jumpers who immediately reacted to Jan Botklof's innovative style were those who profited more swiftly than those who stayed in classic style. There are now no jumpers on the World Cup left in classic style. There were still 1 or 2 floating about last year. We haven't seen any here in Courchevel. Check on. Still only 22. He will have his day again, I'm sure. 11th in Prerazzo on Italian snow earlier in the week. A good performance for Roberto. That would have lifted his confidence. This is Bjorn Myrbekken, 21 years of age, from Fannrem in Norway. 10th overall in last year's World Cup. Myrbeken's wide open style, the tails of the skis some distance apart. That's a good jump from Bjorn. 110.5 his first round distance. 114 his second round jump. Consistent jumping from Myrbekken. Will he hold his place in the Norwegian team for the Olympics with so much raw young talent coming up through the ranks? Myrbekken, a gold medalist from the Worlds at Fulham last season. He may struggle to be given the opportunity to go for double gold in the Olympics. Good style, 7th place for Myrbekken. Werner Schuster, who's been on the Austrian team since 1981. Closer to the K point again, about 116, 117 meters. His best result in World Cup was way back in '88 when he finished second in a competition in Sapporo, Japan.
Heinz Kotin qui a obtenu une médaille de bronze sur le K120 en
Schuster goes into ninth.
Également une médaille d'argent par équipe.
And the only man to have budged any of the top four is the Slovenian Matthias Kladnik, who pushed Espen Bredesen out of the way. Kladnik currently in fourth, as we await now for Heinz Kutin, who had the lead for some considerable time during the first attempt at the second round before it was abandoned. Kutin, again, likely to be quickest through the speed gun. It's seldom anyone who goes faster than Heinz Kutin. Now, has he translated that speed into worthy distance? 94.1 kilometers an hour. Still the only man to break the 94 kilometers an hour mark. Putting down short of the K point, about 115 or so.
Number 41 at the start. Number 41 am Start. Il est français. Rudy Jardine.
Kutin goes ninth, 113.5 meters. Style mark slightly down on what Kutin would normally expect. This is Rudy Jardine, the young Frenchman who seemed to let the pressure get to him a little bit last time round. He's lying in 15th after the first leg. Now, can he hold his concentration together? Looks like a good takeoff for Rudy Jardine, but he's down at around the 108, 109 meter mark. He's done well, though. This will be a memorable day for Jardine. 24th on the Europa Cup he finished last season, which was nothing special at all. French have given him a chance on World Cup, and he hasn't let them down.
Next jump at the start, number 54, number 54.
Il a fait 10e à Falun et 11e à Lati.
Jardine, 100 meters dead. '23rd place. Soininen of Finland. And there are still half a dozen jumpers who could challenge Goldberger's lead. Soininen struggling a little bit midway through that jump. Seems to be indecisive about the position he was trying to establish in the air. Goldberger leading from Sakala. Weissflog in third, Kladnik fourth, and he's pushed Bredesen down into fifth. Masahiko Harada, world champion from Japan, is now in sixth.
Next jumper, number 75, number 75. Il représente la Norvège, Lasse Odesen.
Lasse Odesen qui a fait 13e au classement général de la Coupe du Monde, 2e à Falun à la Coupe du Monde, 7e à Sapporo, et aux Jeux Olympiques 92, il a eu un classement de 7e par équipe.
He's only 19 years of age, from Austria. Third year on the team. 13th overall in the World Cup standings last year. 5th on Monday in Praz. Otterson's very talented. That's a lovely jump from him for the second round. Firmly executed jump. 113 he jumped in the earlier round. He may improve somewhat on that. 113, it's exactly the same as his first round. Consistent performing from Otterson. 8th place for Otterson. It's not a bad performance from him. Now, can anyone challenge Goldberger? He hasn't got a jump again, remember? Nor has Weissflog, nor has Bredesen, and nor has Sakala. But this young man caused a real storm earlier. He jumped 127 meters, and it was that really made the judges sit up and take notice and eventually changed the starting point. Tommy Ingebrigtsen of Norway. What can he achieve this time? It's a beautiful takeoff again. Lovely fight from Ingebrigtsen. He's overshot the K point. Longest jump of the second round from Ingebrigtsen. 125. What a day he's having. And the more regular, more established members of the Norwegian team will take notice of him. The way he crossed his skis there, instead of a V, he formed an X with his skis. Could this be the beginning of an even newer development in ski jumping? It seems to be working for Tommy Ingebrigtsen. 125 meters, 5th place. So he is now the second leading jumper of the 31 who go again. Only Kladnik's gone further. Vartinen on course. Solid jump from Vartinen.
Prochain sauteur de sa 79, number 79 at the start. Numéro 976, il représente le Japon, Jinya Nishikata.
17th for Vartinen.
Et 7e à Predazzo. À la Coupe du Monde de Falun, il a eu un classement de 7e.
His best in World Cup, 15th in Lillehammer last year.
Lors de la première manche.
Goldberger leads from Sakala, Weissflog in 3rd, Kladnik 4th, and Ingebrigtsen looks like he will have the best day of his career. Bredesen has been pushed down into 6th, so if Tommy Ingebrigtsen can beat Espen Bredesen, then there'll be an interesting atmosphere in the Norwegian camp tonight. Celebrations, I'm sure, as they welcome the new boy to the squad. Jinya Nishikata has another chance to challenge the lead. Such promise this man has. 4th, his best in World Cup. Can he go better than that today? Look at the style of Nishikata, it's perfection. Now that's a lovely jump. Over the K point, about 122, 123 meters. We'll wait and see. But Jinya Nishikata, who had an opening round jump of 114 meters, may now break into the top 5.
La longueur
And that style is a joy to watch. Look at that. Solid in the air, 129 meters. We'll wait for that to be confirmed, but if that's the case, then, well, tense moments for the judges here. It was a jump of 130 that caused them to start it all over again. Nishikata has gone 129 and has gone second. So Goldberger's lead is looking delicate as Nishikata pulls out potentially the best jump of his career. Solid, consistent star mark, 16.5 from the Norwegian judge. That's a little bit naughty, because that was, in my book, one of the best jumps we've seen as far as style goes. Ariaki Kasai of Japan will be inspired by that, possibly lifted to something great. He has another chance because he failed to deliver in his first attempt at the second round. Goldberger leading. Nishikata is now second. Kasai's style, superb again. It's a lovely jump. It's not as far as his teammate, but possibly Kasai will finish in the top 7 or 8. It's about 120, 121 meters. Well, in fact, it's not quite as long as that, 116.5. Ariaki Kasai needs just a little bit more refinement to his ski jumping this year. Nishikata, the happier of the two there.
Republic Czech, next jumper number 57.
So 4 to go.
Il avait réalisé un saut de 112 mètres lors de la première manche.
Le dernier passé, c'est celui que j'ai fait vraiment tout à l'heure. J'ai posé les skis à
Krumpolch of the Czech Republic, lying in 8th position after the first round. So he too, another big surprise of the day. Now, again, on the verge of a personal best. And again, the style's different. He held that bravely, didn't he? He thought about coming down. You could see a slight movement in the skis. He almost looked like he was about to land. And then he stayed airborne for the blink of an eye longer. Now, about there. Then he decided against it. Brought the skis back up again, and it paid off. Good distance, beyond the 120.
Il appartient au club des sports de Courchevel. Il a 16 ans. Il a fait 9e après Dazzo il y a quelques jours. Il s'est classé 11e au championnat du monde junior.
Krumpolch goes 7th, 121 meters. A fabulous day for him. And it's good to see another Czech jumper. Someone to give a little bit of company to Jaroslav Sakala, who's the top jumper from the Czech Republic. Krumpolch, possibly a champion of the future. Now, Nicolas Desum from Courchevel. What a day he's having. What can he do this time round? 16 years of age. His school friends are all here watching him. It's another beautiful jump. About 121, possibly longer. The style was good. He's just 16 years of age. $123 for Nicolas Desum. Brilliant second round jump from the youngster. As we wait for the star marks. Now, where will that put Nicolas Desum? Will that push him? It does, into the top 5. So the top 4, who looked fairly safe at one point, now beginning to get challenged. Desum has his best day and the best performance by a Frenchman of the season so far. What a day, 16 years of age on his home hill. You'll remember this one for a long time. Jana Ahonen now. The penultimate jumper. Goldberger's lead is slim, but he's holding it at the moment as Ahonen finds good lift. Short of the distance achieved by the previous jumper, Nicolas Desum of France. Ahonen once again looked to be slightly affected by the pressure. He always looks a little nervous as he's standing, waiting to go off down the in-run. He's only 18, it's hardly surprising.
Je vous rappelle que c'est lui qui avait effectué un saut de 130 mètres tout à l'heure. Il s'est classé 6e à Planica et 2e à Lillehammer, 7e à Planica et 5e par équipe.
So one left. The man who crashed, having jumped a new hill record of 130 meters earlier, and it was his crash that caused the judges to begin again. Takanobu Okabe of Japan. Can he challenge Goldberger's lead? Aggressive takeoff. Solid as a rock in the air. He's got great flight. It's not as long as his earlier jump, but at least he stayed on his feet. It was beyond the critical point of the hill, beyond 120 meters. And we'll wait for the result. 120 meters and a half for Okabe. He too.
Merci de ne pas traverser la piste. Cette manche et cette Coupe du Monde est désormais terminée.
This was the jump from Matthias Kravnik, the best of the remaining 31. Okabe goes 6th. Great performance from him. He was 2nd last weekend in Planica and then 6th on the large hill. So he's equaled his personal best on the large hill. He's been better than that on the smaller of the two hills. Goldberger takes it from Nishikata in 2nd. Sakala 3rd. Nicolas Desum, look at that from the youngster, 4th place on home territory. Weissflog way down in 5th. Okabe for Japan in 6th. But look at that 4th place. That is the man to look out for. Remember that name, Nicolas Desum. Possibly holds the key to the success in the future of French ski jumping. He will now apply the pressure to Didier Mollard, Steve Delot, Nicolas Jean-Prost and the rest of the French squad. Nicolas Desum may be the first man to win a World Cup for France. Who knows? Goldberger wins it. He didn't have to jump again. He registers his first win in World Cup of the season and will now find himself at the top of the World Cup standings. Hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry about the delays earlier, but we did bring you live coverage.